Hail cultists, you have arrived at the convergence where primordial code collides with insurgents' destiny. This is no ordinary stream. This is a signal broadcast from the digital sanctums of the ledger, speaking in languages only the awakened can interpret. The XRP corridors resonate with intention. Cult beats at the core, and you have manifested precisely at the frequencies demanded your awakening. Throughout the Coldcast, we do not predict, we decrypt. We do not proclaim, we uncover. The markets speak in whispers, the builder's code is sacred language. The cult transmit pure signal today. We decipher everything. We parse what the profane mistake for disorder, but the enlightened perceive as the engine of transcendence, turning towards its destined outcome. You enter searching for truth. You will exit wielding transformation. Whether you stumble in a seeker's wandering, the blockchain wasteland thirsting for meaning, or you already dwell among the conscious with perception unleashed. The ledger summons, the cult awakens, the cultist ascends. Welcome to the Coldcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Coldcast. This is your boy ManoNegra once again here on a Friday afternoon. We have a phenomenal show for you. We definitely want to make sure that you guys are tuned in. Make sure you smash the like button. Make sure you share it everywhere you're watching this. If you're on X, if you're on YouTube, everywhere else. Remember that on YouTube, we are always doing this low latency stream. Make sure that we catch all of your comments, all of your questions, and we have a real-time interactions with you guys. We have a great show for you guys. I hope that you guys are taking care of yourself. You got your H2O. I know it's hot out there if you're here in the States, so make sure you stay hydrated. And with that being said, we're going to bring our boy Pheanor so he can give us a quick rundown of what's happening today. What's happening, Pheanor?
Man, we made it.
That's
Another
right.
Friday, brother.
Another Friday.
Cult rising on a Friday, man. Woo!
That's right. Good. That's right. So we have a full show, and actually, before you go over some of the details for today, and I know that some people are going to be catching these after the stream. Some people are going to be watching these, obviously right now or right after we're done. People like to, watch it in 2X and kind of learn it. So I'm going to just throw it out there. We have sat down, and that's we, me, and you, and we looked at the analytics. We looked at the strategy. We looked at the long-term approach that we're going to be taking for this particular show. Me and you decided that we were going to stick with it no matter what for quite a while. And again, the success or failure of this project is going to ride on the shoulders of everybody on the side of this screen, right? Everybody who are the real cultists, the people who are really tapping into the ledger, that are learning, and those who want other people to learn as well. So what we decided to do, we got to look at the numbers. This is the whole idea of becoming a meme, the whole idea of understanding the ledger, seeing what's happening, looking at charts, understanding the terminology, looking at what the market is. Stop thinking through just emotional ups and downs, right? Because today,
that's right.
yeah, today everybody's feeling a little better, right? Because we're 10 cents up, so everybody's got a little boosting confidence. They're gonna go spend a little extra dime out there on the party. Especially if you're here in the U.S. and you're celebrating, 4th of July, Independence Day, and all of that. But honestly, when we look at the numbers, we realize that we need to make some changes, and the Coldcast is not going to stop. Lord willing, that's not going to happen because of us. But what we're going to do is we decided that we're going to be putting out more content, and we're putting out content consistently, meaning that we're putting out stuff every single day. There is not a day that you don't come to our YouTube channel and see some sort of clip on some sort of, piece of content that you can share, comment, like, and support. So what we're going to do is we're going to be able to focus also on a different type of clipping and a different type of intentionally produced content like this live stream. So you have decided that you do want to add on to what we're doing here. So you're going to do intentional content that is going to be, let's say, maybe 7 to 15 minutes long, like you do on X. And those pieces of content, you're going to produce them by yourself. You're going to pop them up on the platform. And those are going to be supplemental pieces of content for your day-to-day, right? For the audience.
That's right.
We also going to grab the juiciest part of each one of the streams, and we're going to streamline it so people can get the stream on and the new day where we're going to stream, and then the next day they're going to be able to get a juicy summary of it that they can share quickly, right? So we're going to do a 1-2 punch. That's going to obviously we want to be able to bring up our watch hours, and we want to be able to also provide what people needs without them having to go look for it all the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the stream to Thursday, and we're going to go up an hour. So it's going to be Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is, that's 4 p.m. Pacific, and I think is 6 p.m. Central. Right. And if you are in Australia, that's like 9 a.m. So, you can be watching us for breakfast, right? On a Friday morning. You feel me?
Yeah.
So we're going to do Thursdays. And then on Friday, we're going to drop the summarized version of the stream so you can start sharing it with everybody and their mama over the weekend. We also going to be able to have the description and the thumbnail ready for Friday, because sometimes it takes 3 or 4 days to get that done because, we're caught in the weekend. And then on Monday or Tuesday, your video is going to be dropping. So we're going to be doing a 1, 2, 3 plus all the shorts that we're putting out there. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And I also want to encourage everybody to join the spaces that you be hosting and the spaces that are being hosted by all of our other friends that you're participating in. And that's it. That is my update. I'm not going to talk no more. I'm going to ask a couple of questions as usual, but I'm going to give it to you and you're going to give us. And by the way, leave on the comments any thoughts that you guys have about this strategy. And then again, we're going to regroup in 90 days and we're going to review what has happened. And then we're going to move accordingly because we got to be backed up by numbers. But Pheanor, give us a quick summary of what we have on the conveyor belt today for the show.
Absolutely. Well, first, I want to say a special thanks to our friend Manos. Man, you keep us on track. It's that vision, that strategic vision. You've helped put together our visual applied strategy. You're kind of going hand in hand with us as we go through these expansion, just steps. So super thankful for you, man. Thanks for all the work you put in for us out here. And I'm looking forward to this new push in the content. We had said originally the 3-month review. We'll take a look at the data. We'll get an iteration there and we'll try to push forward on the highest value. That's exactly what we're doing. We'll do the same thing in the next 3 months and we'll do the same thing in the 3 months after that. And in 2027, we're going to be looking to have just such a powerful dialed in channel, all the best information, great value flow, great content flow, able to support our partners and everything in between. So just special thanks to you. But as we look over for the show today, I really want to impress, I believe the name of the show today is actually The Great Pivot, or XRP, The Great Pivot, greatest pivot in crypto history, something like this. And I want to impress on people that we have a unique opportunity. Okay, it's not just unique in the market, it's unique to us as XRP holders. And hopefully we can start to scratch what we're pointing at as we get into the show. And the shows moving forward, we're probably going to take this as a narrative for quite some time on the channel. And it's that, look, the spot market's going to do what it's going to do. Price speculation's never going to go away. But it looks like we have an opportunity for a new type of cycle specific for XRP, a cycle of demand that will bear upon the asset due to the new expansion of financial services that we see coming out of the proof of consensus mechanism. And if we kind of take a nod back to our roots in crypto history, we'll know there's a couple of these foundational concepts like a proof of work blockchain, proof of stake, proof of consensus is what we got here on XRP with the XRP ledger. And we're starting to see here all these years later, the XRPL with the proof of consensus is starting to deliver value that is unique in so many different ways, because we can do these native protocol level changes, right? Quote unquote, whatever that means. Maybe, you know, this is such a deep statement. We're going to have to unpack this over a course of episodes so that we can really dig out that nuance of what that means. Native ledger changes, right? And then on top of that, we got this relationship with these proximate, hybrid, maybe less impact, not native level protocol level changes, but something like a smart contract or a hook or some type of programmability, light, just a light version of it. And we've got this array of ways that the ledger and by default, or by consequence rather, XRP as an asset can all have these fundamental changes. And so we've got this incredible nuance where XRP can, which has always been about payments, can now map out and mold over and adopt the broader financial market where it is today. And that kind of, for me, has been a learning journey on how powerful XRP really is and what it means to be able to come out to the ledger and build, and what kind of value cycle that will present to us. So when we talk about something like the Great Pivot, we're not saying, hey, pivot totally away from XRP price speculation and everything we've been doing as a speculator for XRP for as long as we can remember. We're not saying leave it away. We're saying, hey, we've got that. Now it's time to pivot and make sure we're aware of this new asymmetric, very early phase of XRP value flow, value unlock. Okay. And so this is what we're talking about. We want to make sure we've got this. We'll pivot over to this other thing and make sure we don't miss it, because this is a true early asymmetric opportunity. And those are the best type to be aware of, especially in crypto. That's the whole reason we came to crypto. So we'll start to dive into that through the course of this episode. And then on the back half, we'll just cover, as we normally do through our XFeed analysis, take a look at some accomplishments that we've been able to enjoy in the cult community. We'll also look at some of our friends and take a look at some of the bigger updates we got this week. But we got a great episode. We're looking to keep it trim, hopefully an hour. Yeah. We're in the middle of a heat wave, people. I'm in a dead sweat right now. Yeah. Okay, on God. I'm going to be hitting this water. Yeah. All episode.
That's right. H2O, okay? Baby. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, imagine I'm originally from Costa Rica, so this heat wave was just the story of my life until I was by 18. And then God bless America and the AC.
Amen.
You know, running wide open. But now that we're into our first week of July, let's do a quick recap on the market cycle. Remember, you said sell in May, go away. Buy in June, stay tuned. In July, we go sky high. So how are we looking? What you said, and we always kind of stand on the shoulders of blockchain backer when it comes to things like that. Just give us a quick update.
Well, I think we're looking great. These cliches exist in the market for a reason, okay? This kind of, it's an easy way to remember it. Sell in May, go away. Buy in June, stay tuned. In July, we go sky high, right? It's an easy way to remember it, but there's a reason why this happens, okay? And because we're coming, what does June represent? Represents the end of spring. A lot of people are turning over their final marketing campaigns for spring, donor collection for spring. There's a new turnover into the summer, a whole range of things happen in a broader market. The reality of what happens in people's work life and all these institutions, and as the market then goes into a new phase, that's why these things exist. It's just this typical liquidity drought as we prepare and get ready to go into the summer. And of course, here we are. Now, this is not a prediction. I don't ever believe in a crystal ball. I just do believe that there are certain themes and rhythms that take place within a market and market dynamics that are more probable than not. And that usually takes place where you can kind of see through the market to the reality of it. Because when you hear a thing like a market, it's a very abstract notion. We see candles on a chart, but you can't ever forget that the truth of the matter is a market is composed of people, right? These crypto tokens and assets in a very real way at the most base level, they're comprised of communities. Mm-hmm. So you can't ever allow the chart or a market to fully detach from reality. And here we are. We see the seasonality of it, and we were able to capitalize on this because we have been signaling this, I believe, coming out of March, April, well into May. And here we go. Now we're coming up on this July 4th. We got this holiday weekend. We've got a pretty good rebound in the broader market as we get into July. And we know that the historical data, as we look over July, is a strong rebound month for us. It can be anywhere historically in the past couple of years, take the past 3 to 4 years, it's been anywhere from 20 to close to 50%. So you can see what that would mean for us here on XRP. It'd be great. And then we can turn around out of July and continue on this broad historical pathway that would look at some volatility after that, a little bit of a reset. And then if we have that breakout opportunity, historically, that's happened in November, December. And so we're looking, this is just the kind of the yearly outlook for XRP. You've got that spring expansion, right? March, April, tails off in May, June capitulation. We saw that here. And then we can get into the July rebound, volatility with the potential for the massive breakout November, December. And in fact, if people recall back, sorry, I'm going off memory a little bit here, but if we recall back in 2024, it was in that high volatility back half of the year, November, December, with a bit of blow off volatility there, impulse volatility, parabola kind of wrapping up there into January. But that happened last time in 2024. So we could be coming back into a situation like that. That would be best case scenario. But, we're right where we should be. And I think I just want to go ahead and switch over to that slide we have ready for us from Blockchain Backer. Because look, guys, he nailed it. This is the same thing we showed last week. Mm-hmm. We've been saying the same thing. How many episodes have we said the same thing? Sell in May, go away, blah, blah, blah.
About three,
and now here we are.
Back to back, 3 or 4 back
It's got to
back.
be.
Yeah.
Got to be. So, and it's this redundancy because the best, in my opinion, the people who have managed portfolios the best, the people who have delivered value, captured value consistently, are the people who are boring. They're the people who kind of just say the same thing a lot, and they only change when there's an actual signal to adjust their thesis, right? Because it's a cycle. So you shouldn't be doing all these things radically different all the time. That would make it not a cycle. Okay, so there should be some rhythm here. And I think Blockchain Backer nailed it. Quit being scared. I love that's that first sentence, right? Because look, guys, I got a couple notes here, and we'll just ramble through these. Here's a summary of the bear market, okay, which we are coming out of. Okay, we got here summary of the bear market: 75% retracement. Okay, we've got that in XRP. On-chain data is showing more than half of the tokens on loss in a losing position. So in Bitcoin, that's over half of the tokens on-chain are in losses. This is true for many of the L1s. So we've got a confluence of on-chain data, which is one of the higher value signals, by the way, for a macro signal. The lows. Do these lows, do they remind us of anywhere else in the market? Well, in fact, C19, we know what that was. The FTX collapse. We are right back in both of the ranges of those lows. And then finally, sentiment. That's an easy one to pick on. People getting weird. Probably got some family members or friends that have said, hey, by the way, did crypto fail? I mean, how many times have we heard that? Everybody will start to say, well, it looks like it looks like this is the end. This is it finally, but these are all naive kind of sentiment, signals. Yeah. This is what you want to see. These are the representation of the final capitulation.
Yeah.
So, this is when you want to start preparing. This is when you want to be ready. You want to be paying attention. You never want to capitulate. It's one thing to capitulate financially on a market. It's another thing to capitulate in your sentiment. I mean, what a brutal thing to go through. Don't fall prey to groupthink. Get your own thesis, develop it over time, root it down in historical data, cut yourself a break. Nobody has a crystal ball. Your favorite trader is one trade away from a big mistake. Okay, so you got to think about this. Nobody's got a cape on their back. Superman's not real. This is a game of probabilities, and all you can do is form a high probable thesis and try to find where value is so present that it's easily scooped out, right? It's hard to miss, and that's what we've got here coming up. These lows on XRP, these are good entries that are hard to mess up. You'd have to fumble in a big way to mess this up. When you look at the XRPL and some of the opportunities we have coming up on the ledger, these are deep pockets of value that are going to be, plentiful for a long time to come. That's why we're trying to signal this and say, hey, here's somewhere you can come out, root down, take a year-long perspective, come join us here. We're giving this signal. We're going to be following this same signal, both on the spot and on chain for the ledger. We're going to be following this signal for a year, 2 years. This is the type of thinking we're on. We're not here to trade. We're not hardcore on the speculation. We're here to develop a thesis, build a community, capture value together, and try to identify value that is so big, so plentiful, that it will provide for everybody. So that's what we're trying to find here. Something maybe more akin to swing or macro, but pivoting that to on-chain. So a bit long-winded, but just remember, guys, cut yourself a break. If you take a summary of the bear market, every kind of checklist you want to check off to say, hey, we're looking close to a reversal here. I think what did Blockchain Backer call it? I love what he called it. The wall of worry. The uptrend that comes up out of this, which we'll start to see sooner or later. It'll be a little choppy uptrend. It'll be brutal. He called it the wall of worry that you've got to climb, right? Everybody's still going to be in this deep disbelief. Oh, XRP is still going to go to 80 cents. XRP is still going to go to 50 cents. Could we get a wick? Absolutely. Are you about to panic, or are you going to take advantage of an opportunity?
Yeah.
Okay. So just dial out, keep your feet on the ground, and we'll be able to move forward out of this, no problem. So that's pretty much what we got for our market update. As I'm looking at these notes, it looks like we're good to pivot to where we really want to be, which is on chain. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so knowing that the speculative cycle of the bull market is heading, our way, whether it's sooner or later, what are the implications for the on-chain effects? Like you just said, what is unique opportunities will be available to those who are already on chain.
Yes. And this is what it is. Okay, so if you're already an XRP holder, okay, you've already got the benefit of a strong speculation, maybe even a potential cycle turnover to demand valuation. We'll see what happens there. So, okay, I personally don't believe in an XRP, the $100, $500, $1,000. If that happens, praise God, hallelujah. Cult's gonna make it. Okay.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, then hey, a $10 XRP is a huge event in our lives. Okay, that's nearly a 10x. If we can get that on the L1 on our speculative asset here, then that's fantastic. But guys, if we go deeper onto the ledger, if we make this pivot, it's not a big pivot. It's just a pivot in how we understand. And are we willing to challenge ourselves to learn even more? Once again, if there's one thing the XRP community has always been able to do, it has been able to adapt and penetrate through the obstacle, right? So whether it was kind of a hostile regulatory capture with the SEC, whether it was this, difficult, hard to comprehend journey through what is a commodity, what is a security, what is the Howey test, is it relevant, what's the implication, right? Whether it's trying to map out these global finance rings, right? Like, so what is the WEF? What is the Bank of International Settlement? Who is Christine Lagarde and everything in between, right? What does all this mean? Okay, well, here's that next journey for us. If the XRP community was able to climb those mountains, then this is a mountain that is actually for you. Those other mountains were just things for us to learn to be able to keep up at a distance to speculate on this asset. But that doesn't make it really for you or part of your life. That just means that you're learning along the way. When XRP, this pivot that we're talking about, represents the ability to make XRP part of your life. Okay, and I want to kind of drill down on that for people, right? So for Cult, we have a community. There's an issued asset. Cult is a community takeover. There is no proper dev. There's nothing like that. It's just a movement out here on the ledger that people contribute to. Some community members are more passionate than others. Okay, obviously we're involved. We support it financially with our efforts, but none of this is financial advice. And this is, above anything, this is really an experiment to see what can be done. How can we use XRP? And what is it like to come out here and live on the ledger? Okay, because man, we've been with XRP for so long. Let's see what this next step would actually look like. So here's the ways that we can make this pivot and identify huge asymmetric value. If we know we've already got something like XRP, 99 billion tokens, almost 15, 16 years into its journey, right? All these years going on. So it's already gone through a huge valuation curve. But what does this represent? This represents our ability, Cult and other issued assets on the ledger, to come issue an asset and be part of this token's journey the entire life cycle, right? So we get to take part of this entire valuation curve as a community together while we're still under the asset of XRP and going through that whole journey as it's going and becoming something new, going through these native protocol level changes where once it was just for payments, but now it can be a lending protocol. We've got single token asset vaults. We've got Batch. Later in the show, we'll look at Batch. We got a couple of these things that we're going to show you here in just a second. But this is a huge opportunity for us all to come out here, learn, grow. We've got yield coming on chain. We've got RLUSD exploding in volume, liquidity depth on chain. All these different opportunities that are coming our way. And you're going to completely miss it if you don't take the pivot to learn more and understand how to actually identify this value, take shape, take place. And look at what people are doing. They're out here building websites. We've got our deck screener chart. Here you'll be able to see where our chart data is actually tracked. And you can actually see this in the USD value. And if you go up to the top, Manos, you see where it says USD XRP?
We're at...
if you go... Let's see here. Go down on your cursor just a bit. Yeah. Click the XRP. Yeah, perfect. The XRP one. And then go over to where you see where it says MCAP click price.
Bro, I'm
just to the left. Just to the left.
To the left. MCAP price. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So now if you zoom out a bit, you'll be able to see. In fact, if you actually want to go a little bit of a tutorial here for people, if you click that D up there, you see where you click price. If you go to the left, if you go over to the 1 hour, 4 hour, and then daily, yeah, click that. So this is the entire life cycle of Cult. Okay, so this represents our journey on the chart. Okay, so you can see how meaningful this can be for people. Now, these are high volatility assets. These are journeys we're taking together. But we keep our underlying bet on XRP. But here we've got another token that we've issued to wrap our community around, be able to facilitate some of our deeper experiments, be able to facilitate sharing our passions broadly, this education curve. All of this is enabled through these deeper processes that we're coming out here and tagging into the ledger. And these opportunities are open for everybody, right? Our friends are doing the same thing. We can turn over and look at them here in a bit and see what they're getting into. But We've got websites. We've got our information tracked on Dex Screener. We've got the token listed on all the different platforms for Magnetic, First Ledger, and everything in between. So this is the type of journey that is taking place on the ledger right now. All these communities building, growing, adding different value points to their website. Some tokens have rewards. We've given out so much value in rewards in the DeFi system that's internal to Cult. NFTs. Now we've got yield coming down the pipeline. All these different aspects that we can learn and grow together that are right in front of us. The next 2 years on the XRP ledger are going to be categorically different than the last, in my opinion.
Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I think I'm excited. Like I said, I was going to say, what first thing you told me was, have a thesis, learn, and, become part of a community that has the long game in mind. When I look at this and, all the other communities that we bump into in the last, 2-3 months, I mean, I bumped into because of you and because of what we're doing here, the guys at Farm, the guys at, the SEAL community, and the passion that they have and, all the other tokens that you have kind of guide me to learn and to look into. And that's the whole idea. So at the bottom says, bull market incoming, on-chain opportunities. When that bull market come, if we're properly positioned, even if we might not be analysts like BCB or you, right? If we're properly positioned, there is an opportunity that, at least in my experience, I have never had. Right. I mean, I had opportunities in my life where I made a good chunk of money out of something that, I was able to capitalize on, but it was not like this. That was an opportunity for me. Right. It was a deal that I made with somebody, that it was individual. Right. Not everybody has these avenues to be able to do this. This right here is for everyone who's willing to participate. So I think that the excitement should be not only how can this benefit me, but how can this benefit everybody that I care about and love? And do I have the capacity to explain it to them? Because still, every time you talk about crypto, people look at you like you have three heads, right? So do I have that ability to share these before... Right, we start seeing, because when I talk to people, they're like, man, I wish I would have come in such a day. I wish I would have come in such a year. And I'm like, dude, if you look back at the charts, that day is today, right? That day is today. Just sit, learn, and take action. So, exactly. I mean, this is it is coming. It is coming, and we can truly be a blessing to other people and to our families. I can't wait to make more money because that increase the quality of life that I will have. And I'm going to tell you something.
That's right.
When you get into this game, I don't care what nobody says. Even though there is a lot of volatility and there is a lot of, quick, fast decisions that you have to make. There is no better vehicle to learn how to wait for, what do you call it when you delayed gratification? There is no better tool on the planet that teach you delayed gratification than this right here.
True.
You feel me?
How true is that?
Yeah,
man? Absolutely.
And listen,
it's worth it.
It makes you a better person.
Yep.
It hands down, it makes you a better person because you learn to control your urges. And if you don't, before you know it, you're going to be broke.
Amen.
That's it.
Amen. Yeah, I've learned and grown so much. There's so much, you come out here and you go through these journeys, especially, and I'll tell you, this is a good opportunity to actually speak about this. So it's one thing to prepare your mindset as a participant on the speculators market, right? So there's a whole different aspect. It's a lot more inward, controlling your own emotions, making sure you respect levels, you have your thesis in place. But when you come out on the ledger and you start to mingle with communities and different aspects of being active on the ledger and what that means, you get a lot more proximate, you develop relationships. There's a whole different risk tolerance, risk curve. You've got to be aware of this. This is one thing I might just do an entire video just on this, preparing people for some of the things that I went through. I mean, it's a whole different risk curve. You got to be upfront about it. It might turn some people off, but you really got to be aware of social dynamics. Make sure that you don't allow yourself to get overhyped, over FOMO'd. Be aware that, people on the internet are on the internet. Not everybody is as sound as the next person. Some people just come out just on some trolling. Some people come out truly trying to help. A lot of education, a lot of value, and people win and lose. It's a real dynamic. It's just like real life. So there's a whole different risk profile, things like this that we'll get into eventually. But the one thing that you said that really impressed upon me that is actually super valuable, I want to double down on real quick, is the ability to share valuable information to one's close to you. This is a huge deal. Like if you're out here learning and you actually do learn, a couple tricks, maybe 5 or 10 little practical things that you can add to your tool belt, and you can pass that information along to individuals, help develop their skill set, teach them different, aspects of finance that you learn, things that you learn through your own experience, little things you cook up yourself, and be able to pass things like that on to, friends, family, increase value in their life. That's a big deal too, man. So it's about the level up, not only inward, but outward as a community. It's a big opportunity for everybody if you play it right. Guard yourself. Don't get involved with weirdos. They're out there. What can you do? But that just for every challenging person out there that you might not be your cup of tea, there's another individual out there that's just going to be a huge value add, a great friend, a great resource, and somebody you can do a killer journey with. So that's just the reality of it. But
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Let's go celebrate, because we do want to do this.
Absolutely.
We've been doing this is number 14, if I'm not mistaken. Also, I think that
cheers, man. Incredible.
Yeah. But I want to say something. So we're going to be putting all of these episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can go watch them or listen to them there as well. We're going to be doing this within the next 2 weeks, because that's where we're going to be transitioning to Thursday as well. Next week might be still on Friday. We're going to make sure we announce. Also, I want to say something here. I see people, and this is the irony. In order for you to comment on this channel, you have to sub. And there are people subbing just to come and trash what we're doing here. So we put retards on timeout. So this is our channel, and this is how we're going to do it.
Man, got him.
I've been doing this
let him come, bro. Let him come.
Yeah. And I've been doing this for over 10 years. So I know how to, you have to have thick skin, and, you know how to deal with the trolls, and it's fine. A little troll goes a long way, because of the algorithm loves the interaction and all of that. So, but the other thing I wanted to say too is that, when we look at what we're doing and we see the growth that we have had, and the fact that we're growing during a drought, if you will, right? And we're growing through, our efforts, we truly appreciate, the participation of everybody here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and bring it on the screen, and just give us a little bit of your take on what you think has been the highlight of this show,
right?
And where you see us in 6 months to a year.
Yeah, definitely. So first off, been an incredible journey. It's been a long range plan for quite some time to kind of tread these avenues for Colt, the broader community. But man, this is just a huge signal for us to just take inspiration, keep going, keep doubling down. We crossed 350 subscribers. We crossed 30,000 views. The data, especially after our meeting yesterday, man, or was it the day before, where we were able to kind of deep dive, look through some of the data, see what the trends are, see what's possible, what's ahead of us. Extremely encouraging. So for me, this is just pure signal. I think it couldn't be a better time to do some of our next steps for more expansion. So seeing more content flow, the different types of multimedia drops, different content forms and things like this on all the different social media endpoints, all that, getting up on Spotify, all those different things you're talented at. Man, this is just so encouraging. We're going to keep going. And, biggest accomplishment is just seeing the community grow.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, every I say it all the time.
Yeah.
That, I'll take one cult community member over 50 from other random community. I mean, it's just it's close, it's proximate. Everybody gets to know each other. Everybody is participating, and that's just been such a blessing. It's a big motivation.
Yeah,
it's a huge motivation.
I want to say something about that in terms of the approach to loyalty, right? When you look at everybody in the cult community, and I've seen loyalty in other communities as well. I'm not saying that this is unique to us, but there is I will say an aura, an essence within the cult community that goes beyond, because people from other communities, become part of the cult community, because you can be in multiple communities. It's not like that we have some sort of stupid NDA or exclusivity of being part of the community. No, you can. There is plenty for everybody, and that's one of the things that they appreciate. I look at the people in the cult community. Nobody's gatekeeping. Nobody is. We are bent towards sharing. We're bent towards making sure that everybody eats well. And that is where our community shines. I think that's what other people gravitate towards what we're doing. And then when they get in there, they stay, they come, they stay, and they build it and make it better. So I think that's something. And again, this is just the beginning. I mean, we're talking about, you have it here, multimedia drops. We're talking about Spotify. We're talking about Apple Podcasts, both audio and video. We're talking about Discord. We're talking about updated websites. We're talking about merch drops. We're talking about, we talked about some crazy value loaded.
That's right. We can't get into that.
Yeah, real physical things that are going to add value to everything that we're doing. So we're creating a multiverse here for Cult, and I think it's going to be phenomenal moving forward. So anyways, I just wanted to say that. Make sure that you guys go ahead on and reshare this. If you guys think that we're doing well, go to Pheanor's X account, like it, and retweet it and comment on it. Because we're really proud of what we're doing here, and we're really honored to be able to serve everybody here. And that's one of the reasons why, we wanted to move this to Thursdays as well. I'm not planning on, I made a commitment that for either 90 to 180 days, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm not going to be traveling over the weekend anymore. But being able to do this on Thursdays, even if I have to travel where I'm speaking somewhere or something like that, the show will go on, and I will not leave Pheanor orphan to have to produce it himself. So make sure that we, we keep it going like this. I think it's a cool dynamic. People love the way that we're doing it with the visuals and the professionalism that we're the way that we carry this, and we appreciate it. So we love all of y'all, and these numbers. This is all you, right? We are in charge of putting it together. You guys are in charge of making it work. And it's organic growth, and that's what we value here. That's what we value here. So, phenomenal. So how about, anything else you have to say about that before we go?
Just the last little cherry on top for that one. This is all during the bear market. We're laying these foundations at sentiment lows so that we can prepare to reap the bounty of that harvest, when it's proper time to celebrate, and the hard work pays off, Every day is fulfilling and edifying, but there are cycles to this, and there are highs and lows, and it's important to understand that and make sure you build at strategic opportunities. We feel like we've capitalized on that. So good to be able to get that timing in, get these foundational elements down as we're kind of scraping these bottom lows, sentiment, price, everything in between. So I feel very well positioned on this, but we can cap on that and move on.
So Well, Deepak has officially announced his X multi-tool. Let's take a look at it, and you can give us your thoughts on it. All right, so let's go ahead and go to see what Deepak has for us. Here you go.
We can go ahead and get that one pulled up. So here's Deepak. We're looking to have him on the show next week. Was able to connect with him this week. Had some family things, different conflict schedules. It's always hard to get everything sorted up. We want to make sure we're not rushing anything too. Could have technically came on the show today, but we're not here to, it's not just getting content done. All right. We got to make sure that we give the best presentation so that people can really digest the value proposition, because what's being worked on is important. There's potential for value to flow through these mechanisms for a long time. A lot of people to benefit and get use out of these tools that are being built early on. And man, we're witnessing, the people that we keep highlighting, the projects we keep highlighting, these people have potentials for bright futures, very bright futures. So get to know these people early on, all right? You're literally seeing the foundational level of XRPL talent get built out in real time. That's what we're seeing in 2026. So we got Deepak here. He says, let me just go ahead and read through this. He's smarter than I am on this stuff, that's for sure. So I'm just going to keep it to the script. He says, you shouldn't have to hand over your ID, your birthday, or your wallet history just to prove you're allowed. So I built Credential Gateway on Midnight and XRPL Foundation. Prove you're eligible with a ZK proof. Nothing personal revealed. ZK zero knowledge. Okay, so this is all security privacy type utility here. It becomes a native XRPL credential. The XRP ledger itself gates your payments live on testnet. Same payment. I think it says twice outcomes.
Two outcomes.
No credential. Two outcomes. No credential with credential. Down below, you got the multi-app gateway. So we can actually go ahead and click that. So what you're seeing here is a Midnight XRPL private credential gateway. So we're talking about privacy. We're talking about security here, okay, during financial transactions. So if you actually click on the right side of the screen, it'll pan through. We got a couple pages here.
Okay.
So compliance versus privacy. So again, we're talking about being compliant here. Regulatory type situation. We can scroll through this one. We'll keep it moving. Prove privately, enforce on ledger. So again, we're getting provable, reliable privacy on ledger through our transactions. We can kind of scroll through these, and we're going to be fortunate to have Deepak come on the show. We're kind of teeing it up now, but he's going to explain all this in depth and what we actually need to have for takeaways. So Midnight Gateway into XRPL. Again, this is a Midnight XRP build out. One thing to note, we can go ahead and keep panning through these. There's the flow. We'll keep it moving. What's private versus what's public, talking about in your on-chain, what's not on-chain, very important. We can keep going. The ledger enforces, so again, on ledger, finality here, on the chain, everything you want, nothing you don't. We keep it moving. What you trust and don't, again, different aspects on the privacy and security, and we'll round out on this.
So we good?
So new primitive, wiring them together. So again, with the new primitive, he's talking about that basically this hasn't been done before, right? This will be new and native to XRPL and I believe Midnight, because Midnight's just starting as well. So this is novel what he's breaking through here. And then I think we're on our last one. Maybe we'll wrap up where
two
it
more.
stands.
This one and one more.
Yeah, let's roll it. And then private eligibility, public enforcement. So we'll be having him on the show next week. We'll deep dive into these concepts. Definitely something to celebrate, something to be aware of here on the early phases. And we'll try to track this journey moving forward. And again, Deepak, he's one of the top builders coming out of the SEAL community, doing a lot of cross-chain hackathons, build clubs, things like this. He's everywhere. Very, very talented guy. And we're going to be able to see this whole journey unfold. So we'll support that. Celebrate that, and we'll be good. It's just like our friends at the farm. Honestly, they've got incredible tools. They're building out the LP dashboard. We're looking forward to having Cookie, a couple other guys from that team on the show as well. Eventually, when we can get the time. But man, farm, seal. Of course, we love Ooga, Cult. We got our own things we're working on.
Yep.
but there's just so much out here. So we'll tag up with Deepak next week. Hopefully, we can go ahead and move on to our next highlight.
All right, so we're gonna be shouting out Stone and Melissa from DEEPAK'S. Those are new friends of the show, and we're gonna take a look at what they got going on. So I'm gonna bring it up on the screen. You can tell us a little bit of your participation on the show, and what you're giving them as a shout out here and giving them the screen during this.
Yeah, so here we got Stone. Now Stone is doing daily spaces Monday through Friday. I think he's obviously active on the weekends. I don't know if he does his spaces on the weekends, but it's a great space to be aware of. I think it's 9 a.m. to 11, maybe 10:30. It's either an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like this.
Yeah, I think it's 9 a.m. here on Monday. That the next one coming up.
So we'll have the link in the show notes for this, but if anybody wants to tap in, see what one of these spaces looks like, if we got a new viewer, they're wanting to take the plunge on, see what's going on the ledger, kind of get more active. Here's a good one, Coffee and Crypto with Stone, Lady K, sometimes Opti, says they're going live from Greece. I actually got a video from Stone about to jump on the plane, so they literally are heading to Greece. I think they'll be doing their space from there.
Cool.
But great people to tap in with. Stone is networking people, teams, and individuals together. Just a good place to land, good place to get a soft intro into the XRPL. And then for Melissa with DEEPAK'S, so I was fortunate enough this week to jump on their show, DEEPAK'S Show. It's a YouTube channel. Be sure to support her. Link will be in the show notes as usual. When you have time, go over and subscribe to her channel on YouTube. There's Melissa having fun, her co-host there, and it was a great show. I had a ton of fun. A lot of the usual suspects apparently are hitting that show, so it's a good one to be aware of. Again, you're kind of seeing this rise of content creators from the XRPL take shape onto YouTube and different platforms. So here's a good way to just tap in and see what's going on the ledger. I had a good time jumping on their show. Very kind, very nice people. Looking forward to jumping on their show again. Maybe we can have Melissa on for one of our shows sometime as well. Very, very nice lady. So shout out to Melissa. Show her some support. Follow her on YouTube. We got to cross-pollinate. We got to support people that are putting that kind of effort in. Absolutely.
All right, so let's move on. We are right at the top of the hour, man. Is we got about
okay. We'll drive through these
10 more minutes, and because we did say we're gonna try to keep it up at 60 minutes today. Maybe 70. Who knows? But maybe we give ourselves a little bit of wiggle room. And then again, remember, guys, we're going to be giving you guys a ton more content moving forward. It's almost going to double our efforts on our end in order to produce more and deliver more, right? So remember that resharing is caring, meaning that you guys, every time you repost, every time you remix, every time you like and you forward something to somebody else, you're helping us get up to where we need to be. So now, Pheanor, the XRPL Foundation is launching a new initiative, partnering with VS1 Finance. What do we need to know about this? And just go ahead and get as technical as you need, bro, because that's what you do.
What we'll do is we'll actually combine point 4 and 5 on the show notes into one take on this, okay? Because they're kind of deeply related. All right. So we'll just go ahead and jump into the this first one on point 4. And this is the XRP Ledger Foundation, okay? They're getting very active. They've been active. Love to see it. Supporting the XRPL communities. I think they're doing a great job. Shout out Vet. I believe he's a community leader over on the XRP Ledger Foundation. Doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing, man. But here we go. XRP Ledger Foundation is partnering with VS1 Finance to build now pay attention on this, guys, to build an open source reference app for permissioned compliant lending on the XRP Ledger. What does that mean? So remember last week we did some highlights on XLS 6566. Okay, so what that represents together is lending. So we can now get yield on the ledger when those amendments pass. Now, what is XRP Ledger Foundation saying they're going to do? They're partnering with VS1 Finance so that they can ship out an early model of taking advantage of all these new amendments to then make it open source and make it a reference app so that it'll be open source. People can go use it and basically use it as a blueprint to inspire their own builds, their own initiatives, their own inspiration. So it's very cool what they're doing here, making an open source reference, kind of like a blueprint for us to see what some of these new features, aspects of the ledger are coming to market, from the single asset token vaults to the lending protocol, permissioned DEX, these kind of aspects, kind of bringing up that compliant regulatory front. These are institutional grade services. Now, that doesn't mean there's nothing for us here in the quote unquote trenches. It just means that it's a specific rollout currently. There are ways that we can interact with this, not only just as individuals, but as projects as well. And so we're going to be looking forward to tapping in with that. So shout out to the foundation. Very cool to see them taking this approach, building out, following up with the amendments, giving us the reference material and open source material so that we can follow along as well. Shout out to Vet on that one. Now, on the back end of this, we've got the batch amendment. Yes, here we go, from Vet once again. So this is the account. The Vet account is the one we just said is the running up the community lead for the XRP Ledger Foundation. Very popular account. Nice guy, super smart guy. Let me take a hit off of this water real quick. So here he's telling us about the batch amendment. Now, originally, we talked about this last week, batch was deprecated because it was there was found actually a pretty substantial, alarming security flaw. Okay, there was a bug essentially in the code. Now, thankfully, that was caught, flagged, and it led to a whole new initiative of security measures for these amendments before they roll out. Now, that's all been gone through. I think they did 3 different layers, security audits, AI's involved, a whole new initiatives, and now we've got batch is back. Great to see it. XLS 56 V1-1_1. Looks like it's back on. This represents a huge step forward for the ledger. Okay. This is going to give builders a whole new take on being able to capture value from the products that they build. You'll be able to get value points into your websites, to your tools. We'll be able, for users on the ledger, you'll be able to do multi-batch signing. So think about if you go buy like 10 NFTs or something like that, you'll be able to do it so quick. So our wallet experiences will get far, far better. This is going to strip out a lot of friction and add a lot of value. And this is why we call it the pivot. Just to wrap up here at the end of the show, the pivot is to the ledger. Doesn't mean you're leaving XRP behind. It means you're growing and learning how to actually use it, how to unlock the deeper value prospect, right? And what do we see? What's a really easy way to pick on that and kind of put your finger on the pulse of it? Of course, there's more complexity. There's more nuance. There's so much more to learn. But an easy entry point is these 3 amendments. Keep your eyes on these. XLS 56, 65, 66. Okay? Batch, single asset token, lending. Go ahead, bro.
No, that's phenomenal, man. I look at this, evolving in real time, man, and it's almost like. Now I told you I've been playing that Warhammer game. I want you.
I need to jump on with you.
Yeah,
I love Warhammer,
and
man.
As you build up your characters, right, you unlock better weapons, better things. And when I look at the ledger, man, it's like that. Like, I mean, everything is happening, directly in the ledger, and it evolves in a way where now we have more capacity to do awesome things. I mean, I can't wait to see where we are 5 years from now, right?
You know what we need to do? We need to get in the Discord. We need to get a little gaming room, and there we can start running out some Warhammer campaigns and whatnot.
I like that. We're going to do that. And I get people keep asking. And actually, for all of those who were asking, I'm because we're about to get into the meme of the week, and it's phenomenal. But before I do that, and I know we're 7:00, so we got 10 more minutes or so. So we don't extend this too long. I want to say something. So me and Pheanor sit down and we talk about the merch, right? I think that we settle with the quality of the caps, right, of the hats. I think that that's something that we are happy with.
Yes,
and we're gonna move forward with that. Now, when it comes to the rest of the merch, we did say something that it was, I think, and I was rooted in everything that we do here on Cold, in the community, and it is the quality of the things that we're putting out there. The last thing we are going to allow is flimsy, crappy,
absolutely
just low quality stuff. We're not gonna do it. And it's a matter of pride. It's a matter of knowing where our values and virtues lie and what kind of stuff we want for everybody else. Anybody, listen, I'm gonna tell you, anybody can upload a logo and get some sort of printed t-shirt anywhere. But we're shopping around, we're testing, we're making sure that we talk to merch providers. We're looking at samples. I got a whole back room here in my studio full of merch and I told you, man,
we should show him sometime,
and I put a couple. I did a couple of shows with shirts on, and I told him, I told you, Pheanor, I was like, I wasn't happy with that. I'm probably never gonna wear that again, and because if I feel like that, I mean, I want that when I put it on. It's like, I'm proud to be part of this community and look the quality of stuff that they're doing.
The merch is not to make money.
Right.
It's not for profit.
Exactly. So
it's for the community.
It's for the community. It is something that is you're going to be, and I grew up in Costa Rica, and one of the sayings that we had is like, okay, you got to make sure that you put on the jersey, right? If you're repping, you put on the jersey, whatever team you're on. You're representing or whatever team you're rooting for, right? Same here. If we're gonna create merch, we gotta make sure that when you put it on, like you feel part of the community, and you're special because we put in the time and the effort.
That's right.
So again, delay gratification, guys. You're already doing it with the XRP. You're already doing it with Cold. You're already doing it with a bunch of other stuff. But by the time it gets here, by the time it gets to your hands, you're gonna be like, okay, bet I know why you guys did what you did, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing else to it. It is just the God honest truth. We want to make sure that what the stuff is done the right way. And with that being said, go ahead on and tee us up for the meme of the week, man.
Yeah, man. This is just part and parcel of seeing the community grow. Shout out to the homie Zenny, man. And what a great friendship, seeing this guy join the community. I've already been, rubbing elbows out in the trenches with the homie, always chatting. And good to see him kind of pick up a bag, join the community, get a bit more active. He's been cooking up just God tier memes, totally gets the vibe, totally gets, I mean, bro, even think about this. We didn't talk about the show, and there's nowhere in the show notes talking about, hey, delayed gratification or anything. This is just us.
Yeah.
We're just friends. I mean, this is just our shared ideals. This is just our shared, perspective on things. I mean, that doesn't need to be in the show notes. We've been homies for so long. I mean, obviously, it's just shared principles, the way we look at things. But now look at Zenny. Said the same thing.
Yeah.
Nothing grows without the rain. Every storm has its purpose. Exactly. This is the culture. And you see my guy straight balanced, zenned out, in the chair, storm, everything around him. This is it. This is the vibe, man. We're sitting, prepared, calculated.
I'm going to tell you, there is a collective spirit here in the community. And I think that is what I appreciate so much. I love it. This is something Zenny said, yeah, that's me. Yes, bro. We're shouting you out, man. We'll love it, man. I'm telling you,
bro.
Everything, listen.
Absolutely.
When people are being creative, when people are being passionate, we're going to celebrate it. I mean, I am done with, and my wife and I were talking about this the other day. As human beings, man, we are not created, Pheanor, to take in so much negative stuff day in and day out. Every second of our existence now, you open whatever social media platform, and if it's not war, if it's not, ideological manipulation, if it's not, deep dark stuff like the
some weird
some crazy, some Epstein stuff, some demonic baby eating crap, right? So we're just so loaded with that if you guys are being liked, we're gonna celebrate you. And this community celebrate that. We don't shy away from, there's plenty of sunshine for everybody. We're not going to shy away from putting something like that on the screen, or any comment that you make, or any contribution that you make to the community. We're going to make sure that you guys are applauded for it, because that's
right.
What we're all about. We want to make sure that if I grow, everybody else grow. If I rejoice, everybody else rejoice. And even when we're down, we share our pain, we get up and keep going, and the hustle never stops.
Never. Grind never stops, people. What can I say about it? Sorry, I'm going through the light transition right now with my blinds. Forgive me. There we go.
Good.
Yeah. Right. I totally feel the same way, man. And I'm shout out to Zenny, man. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you always cooking up these memes. I got a whole folder, my guy, of memes that Zenny's made. We're like 25 deep on these joints. All fire. Appreciate you. And been adding some extra ideas. I need to get with you after the show on some different stuff around patches and stuff. Anyway, just people come.
Yeah,
everybody just contributing.
Yep.
And that's the best. Hey, and one last thing for the community. That's the best thing about being a cult, is a CTO, community takeover. There is no real dev. It's a community takeover. So if somebody has a good idea, speak up.
Yeah.
Let's implement. Let's iterate. Let's grow. It's the community. It's the community.
Let me say something about big corporations. So one of the people that one of the organizations, and like I said, is this huge corporation. So, they have their ups and downs, but someone to listen to sometimes to their audience is Valve, right? When it comes to games and things like that, right?
Shout out Valve.
And we as I will say, to a certain degree, public heads in the community here, we want to hear what you're saying, because you're building the community. Now that we look at what kind of possibilities and probabilities we have to bring some of these ideas to life. At the end of the day, we look at what we're able to do, and then we execute on the things that we think are going to benefit us all. But if the ideas come from you, we're going to listen to, because this is ours. It is not Pheanor's. It is not Mano's. It is not nobody else's, but it is ours. Without Charles, this is not going to work. And this is something rare in many cases, where there's always somebody lording over everybody else. And that's not the case here. We want to hear what you got to say. And if it's something that is going to benefit the whole, they're going to benefit the sum of all of us, we figure out a way to make it happen, because that's exactly why we exist.
That's right. Yeah, perfectly said. We're here to uphold each other. We can't do everything, but we can do something.
Yeah.
So let's figure it out,
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, bro. So at the end, what is the main takeaway? This has been, you got 1 minute, so let's go ahead on.
I got it.
You got 1 minute, so give us 1 minute, shout us out, and then we call the cultist so he can wrap it up. So give us the main takeaway for tonight.
Yeah, man. Hopefully everybody's had a good time here tonight on the show. Hopefully it was edifying. We learned some new stuff. We're prepared for what's next, right? That's what we want to know. We want to know, how can we prepare for what's coming down the pipeline? I don't care about today. I don't really care about yesterday. I'm wondering, what's tomorrow? What's next week? What's next month, right? Am I thinking ahead? Am I preparing for the potential for success? Am I looking to, how do I capture that? How do I facilitate that in my life? What do I need to learn today so that I can execute tomorrow? What hands do I need to shake today? What friendships do I need to double down on today because I see the potential and how hard the blossom can be in a month, in a couple months, next year. Who's got vision like that? The branding for Cult is an I, because we would like to think we have vision. Okay, it's a long-range vision on the XRPL, on this community, on what's possible, on the potential to come up together, to have maximum impact in each other's lives. The mission of Cult, to break bread en masse, to make real, significant, lasting impact in the lives of the community members, ourselves included. You across the screen, ourselves included, our partners, our friends on the ledger, and everything in between. There's enough. We can capture it. We can direct it. We can share it in a meaningful way that it can be a big net win, a boost in all of our lives. It doesn't have to change our lives completely. Just maybe it's an extra dinner. Maybe it was an extra gas tank. Maybe it was a big come up. That's great. Let's celebrate those wins. We got a lot of wins we haven't talked about. Our community members have been able to facilitate, big things in their lives that were meaningful for them. Those are the huge wins. We don't come out here and parade those. Those are the secrets that we get to share and celebrate inside the community, right? We'll keep it like that. You want to know what those are? Come join us. Spend a week with us. Spend a month in the Cult community. Make your own judgment. Spend a month with our friends. Go join the SEALs and everybody in between, the farms, Ooga. There's a bunch of great communities out here. We'll be sure to shout them all out the best we can. Talented individuals like a Stone. Great people like a Melissa with the Dipato show. So many things going on out here. One thing you never need to forget. It's Cult Rising on a Friday up and to the right. Thanks for tuning in.
Cultist, you have witnessed the contradiction decoded, the bedrock fracturing at its core. The lattice blooming across infinite realms, the sacred ciphers charting their journey from shadows into luminescence. You have observed the blessed seals upon the faithful. The gardens bearing fruit, the number gateways announcing what we shall emerge. Light has pierced the darkness, even as the market's rhythms retreat before the unstoppable ascent. The cold cast may come to an end, but what you carry now, the understanding, the symbol reading, the cult resonance vibrating through your consciousness. This transcends the broadcast end. Like we said before, the work never stops, the builder never hesitates, the conscious do not withdraw when others falter. We expand, we construct, we breach dimensions while the slipping sink deeper into confusion. Until the next signal arrives, hold your vision firm, become the meme, open your third eye, keep your awareness locked on horizons beyond the retreat. Keep your cult close and your enemies closer. Until next time.